dollar pairs. Okay. So this is the wrap up for the live market open, Wednesday, November 18th. We have some kind of correction in markets. Euro dollar rising 106.84 after finding a base low at 106.30, resistance 107.05, 107.80, support 106.30 and 105.30. Also some movements in pound dollar rising towards resistance 152.50. Above it we have 153, 153.70, on the downside 152, 151.50 and 151.10. What did we have yesterday that did strengthen the dollar contrary to other to this kind of small correction now? We had inflation coming out as expected, 1.9 in the core, and no surprises is good news for the US dollar. It's good enough. Industrial output fell by 0.2, but it was shrugged off by markets. Elsewhere, UK inflation dropped 0.1, but core rose 1.1, and that gave sort of more energy to cable. ZU in the Eurozone surprised the upside with 10.4%. No real impact on the euro. We're expecting EFO next week. New Zealand milk prices fell for the third consecutive time, 7.9%. That's why Kiwi dollar is trading in a lower range. Let's see that. Kiwi dollar is trading in a nice range between 64.50 and 65. Aussie dollar, given the strong RBA minutes, in a range and not falling above the lows at 71.20 at the moment, between 70.65 and 71.60. What else do we have? Dollar yen, a stronger dollar pushes the yen. Here we have it on higher ground, a more narrow range. 123.60 is strong resistance. Dollar CAD, oil prices have stabilized but remain a bit low. 133 at the moment, 132.80 and 134.60 resistance. So these are the main pairs. What do we have today on the agenda? The top event of the week, Fed minutes at 7 GMT. Three scenarios. First of all, that they sort of repeat what they said, which is giving us more fuel, or the same fuel for rate hike in December, acknowledging improvement in employment, in inflation, not so worried about international developments, and still considering everything in data dependent. Given the high market expectations, this could be another opportunity for profit taking. That's one probable scenario. Another probable scenario is that they give us an even thicker hint about action in December after the NFP. Remember, the document is revised, so we could see the dollar taking the next leg higher. Third scenario, not so probable, is that they take the other direction, unprobable because of the NFP, and that could, of course, weaken the US dollar more than just repeating what they said. Okay. Elsewhere, we have Dudley speaking at 1 GMT. He's number 3 at the Fed. He's been cautious, leaning just a bit to the dovish side. 130 building permits and housing starts. The figures need to strongly go in one direction in order to have an impact, because first of all, they can go in separate directions and leaving us confused, and secondly, because of the Fed minutes and the crude oil inventories at 3:30 GMT, especially important for the Canadian dollar. This time, perhaps we could see, after many weeks of rises in inventories, this time we could perhaps see a drawdown and perhaps give some support to oil prices, but not too much. And we have New Zealand PPI at 9:45 and rate decision in Japan. It's the first rate decision after the news about a recession, which was not totally unexpected. No action is expected from the Bank of Japan, but they might relate to action in the future. Inflation targets, they might weigh on the Japanese yen, but they had a bigger opportunity in October, so I'm not sure they'll take any opportunity now. If they do act now, of course, it'll be a huge surprise and weaken the yen, but seems very unlikely to me. Okay, so that's the wrap up for today, main event Fed minutes. You see we have more questions. So